I'm Tom Cruise. You guys ready? So, yes. It was interesting.
Oh, we're in. Hello. I was trying to figure out how I can do it on this laptop, because before I was trying to get this laptop going and you couldn't hear me, and I don't. Now we have sound, so I might have fixed that. But first of all, let's just see if. Okay, so we're now in there. Turn the volume. Where's the volume? Speakers. Okay, turn that off. So now I can at least answer you in this. So there we go. Hello Nationwide. Hello Stevie, Dragon Lord Coins. And you're going to be interested in some of this, Steve. I gather I just missed out on the Scumbag TV Wheel. Better luck next week. Missed out. Oh, did you not? Oh, yes, that will be Monday. Yeah, because it nearly landed on you, didn't it? You nearly got a win. So I'm just doing this now. I'm not doing this video to implore people to do anything. I'm not doing this video to get you to spend any money. I'm not doing this video to sell to you. I'm doing this video because I need to do this video. I need to do it for me. And I think I need to do it for you. Especially for those people, first and foremost, for those of you that have been around through all of this mess and all of the backbiting and nastiness and stuff going on, not just with Warren and what happened over the last year. I mean, that just goes back to last Christmas. This goes way beyond then. Excuse me. And a lot of people didn't really know, didn't really understand, you know. When we had the coin jockeys, so when we had Stevie and Warren and Scott and Hannah and everybody doing the coin jockey thing, this was one of those things that was going on in the background. And so to people like Stevie and Scott and Hannah and Warren and everybody that was part of that, and Dean and Matt and all those people, you know, I was saying to all of you, you know, I have absolutely no idea what all this is about. I think it started from the Facebook thread that had Lisa McLaughlin and Lee Holt in it. And that was about the only tracing back that I could do. And then if Lee Holt and Lisa McLaughlin came on, I would stand my ground. Say, no, what you did was outrageous. You ambushed me in a group. Similar to what Warren did actually last year. Ambushed me in a group, and they're supposed to be admins, right? Now, an admin, I look at an admin, I view an admin like a teacher, right? In a classroom, you have somebody in that classroom, which is the teacher, who is there to keep a modicum of control, right? And nowadays, it wasn't so much when I was at school, but certainly nowadays, people are encouraged to debate. People are encouraged to talk, not argue. They're encouraged to talk and debate and stuff like that. Kids have a problem, they're encouraged. And then you have the teacher there, and the teacher is there making sure that you don't descend into a fight and you don't, you know, let's keep it. That to me is what an admin of a group is. So if you're an admin of a group where which is different from our Facebook page, because the Great British Coin Hunt Facebook page is just a page. It's a fan page. It's not a group. So if people want to come in and leave comments, they can only come in and leave comments on a post that is already there. As a member of the page, you can't come in and make your own post. That to me is a huge difference between pages and groups. Right now, Facebook group, you can go into a group and you can actually make a post, your own post in their group, and or share your own post to a group, right? But it's your post in somebody else's group. So of course, when people then start making comments on your post, you control that. And if somebody writes nasty stuff, you can just delete it because it's your post. You can't do that on other people's posts. So you have to rely on admins actually doing their job. So an admin's job is not to steam in at someone and have a go at somebody alongside the people that are having a go at them. The job as an admin is to remain a little bit neutral, let the debate happen, let that person answer themselves, let those people moan about it, and see what happens, right? See how the people, these people are moaning. This is the person they're moaning at, which was me. Wait and see how this person deals with the complaints. That's how, to me, an admin should behave. What an admin shouldn't do is when you've got the people making complaints going, you're a liar and you're this and you're that. You shouldn't have the admins going, yeah, you're a liar, yeah, and all that, right? Because it doesn't help. So, but the one thing I could never get my head around until the other day is why. I'm one of those people. I'm an annoying person for that. I have to know why. In my head, as long as I know how 2 and 2 makes 4, as long as I know how that happens, I'm cool. My head won't go on and on and on and on like a nagging at me, because I don't understand. Once I understand, it's like, I can't explain it. It's like, poof, it's gone. I'm not thinking about that now. I'm thinking about something else, right? That's important to me. For me, myself, it's important to know and understand, right? So if I fell out with Stevie Fraser, for example, just picking on you, Steve, if I fell out with Stevie Fraser, I would have to, at some point, if I don't know why, I would have to, at some point, engineer a way to be able to talk to him to go, why, right? Once I know, then I know, right? It's that simple. And this thing about Facebook, I never understood it. I really never understood it, because it started off, there's thousands of people complaining about you and all of this. And then when I went into the group, there was only like 5 people in there, and there's me going, where's all these thousands of people? Anyway, I've got it sussed now. And, by the way, this video will get taken down. Last Friday's video was taken down, and it is the first time that I have not got an email from Google to say your video has been removed. Now, because I haven't got that email, there's nothing for me to click on to submit an appeal. So I can't get Friday's video back. Whereas if you look on Lorna's YouTube or Chris's YouTube, theirs was taken down, but they've put an appeal in, they got an email, and that Friday's show is back up. So if you want to see Friday's show, you can't see it on my channel. You have to go over to Lorna's or Chris's, and you can see it on there. And one of them might even pump up a link, or just click on their name. If you see Lorna or Chris, Chris can give a thumbs up or something like that, and then you've got him there. And then you just click on him and go to his channel. It's that simple. I encourage and do urge people to share this as much as you possibly can, even right now. Share it on Messenger, get it out there, share it on WhatsApp, and get it out to the people that you know in the coin community, because now we know, now we're going to, when I tell you this, as I said it in a message as I was putting it out, saying, oh, if anybody wants to come in and watch it. As the man said in the film Notting Hill, I'm going to tell you a story that's going to make your balls shrink to the size of raisins. It's a joke beyond jokes. And I'm not just going to tell you a story and just expect you to believe me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually show you the proof of what I'm talking about and how I've actually sussed it. Now, it's also very important for me to mention, before we go any further, about the video I did with my breakdown. Now, I did have a bit of a breakdown recently, and my breakdown is more centered around the impossible position that I find myself in over the last year with certain things that have happened that are beyond my control. So my dad dying, my son being abused, what's going on with Facebook, and what's going on with John, and all this stuff that is hugely messes about with your life and your head. And it's been a lot to try and sort of deal with. So my breakdown the other day, because I've seen an email from Warren whereby it's a big long diatribe after that. And but essentially he was taking my video as an apology to him. Nothing could be further from the truth. I wasn't apologising to Warren or Lee Hull or Dave Hill as such. I was apologising for the way in which. How can I explain? I know. Here's a better way of explaining it. I'm going to use you again. You don't mind, do you, Steve? Supposing me and Steve fell out to the point where we were there in our garden arguing and fighting. And now that argument's turned into a fight, right? 1 minute we're friends, the next minute, you know, it's happened to a million people. The next minute you're friends, the next minute you're fighting each other, right? Now, in that punch-up, supposing it descends to a punch-up, in that punch-up, people can fight fairly and people can fight very unfairly. So a fair fight might be Steve might punch me, I might punch Steve, we might punch each other a few times, get a few bruises, right? That's sort of what you would generally class in your head as a fair fight. An unfair fight is where somebody goes absolutely fucking mental, to the point of when punching Steve, one doesn't stop, one will just punch his face in, and his teeth are gone, and he's a mess now. After all of that happened, and all of that anger and evilness within my body and my head subsides, and I look at what I've just done, it doesn't matter that I might have had the best justification in the world to give him a punch on the nose. I might have had the bestest, right? But did I have the right to smash that person to pieces? That's what I was apologising for. That's what I was trying to apologise for. I was trying to apologise for the fact that if I go into a fight with somebody, I go over the top. I had to absolutely go over the top. Schizo over the top sometimes. That's what I was apologising for. More for my venom of fighting, not apologising for the fact that we've got an argument and this argument is going on. I'm not apologising for that because I haven't done anything wrong. So no, I'm not apologising for that. I'm not apologising for the fact that we've had this argument for a year or two. No. What I was apologising for in the middle of my snotty nose breakdown was the fact that I have gone for the throat and maybe shouldn't have done it in that way, in the way that I've defended and fought back. And maybe what I should have done was just not bothered coming on the video and putting my fists up for a fight and all the rest of it. What I should have done, perhaps in retrospect, was gone to the solicitor and let them deal with it. Or gone to the police in the first place 6 months ago or 8 months ago and let them deal with it properly instead of trying to take it all on board myself. But that's me not trusting in the system and one thing and another. So I just got to make it clear that that's what I was apologising for. I wasn't apologising for, you know, the fact that I've called these people liars and thieves and scumbags and all the rest of it, because they are. I can't do anything about that. You know, you can't change the fact that people are a scumbag, or you can't change the fact that somebody's a liar or a thief. What can you do about that? But you can change the way that you address those people. You know? Anyway, so that needed to be said. So what we've got is a simple story. This is so simple. I'm just going to say hello to whoever's watching. So let's have a look. We've got Nationwide, hello mate. Dragon Lord's there. We've got Mark's British Coins, hello, and we've got the robot, and we've naturally got Chris there. And just say when you want me to time out, Ian. Yeah, of course, me and Stevie, we've got no problem. That's why I picked on Stevie, because we've got no problem at all. And Stevie won't take what I've said to him, mate, or anything like that. I was just, you know. So, and Nanny Sue. So you haven't really missed anything yet, Nanny. I'm just explaining why I'm doing this video and etc. So what we're specifically talking about, right, now this has got nothing to do with Warren. It's got nothing to do with the issues with Warren. The issues with Warren were, you could say, coincidental to the equation. What's happened with Warren came afterwards. And so that has got, although it sort of ended up intertwining where Warren and Lee Holt and all of them are doing their own little conspiracy thing, whatever it is that they're doing, and now even because they keep taking the videos down. But one had nothing to do with the other. So what I'm about to talk about actually has nothing to do with Warren, because it was all before that crap. It was all a year before that crap. So, as you know, I've been banging on about certain coins that I think are worth a certain amount of money. So, for example, I've been telling you all about the 2015 Britannia and the Navy 2015 with the ship on it. Some call it the Belfast with the ship on it. Now, those two coins, because of their mintage, 650,000 mintage, and as soon as I knew what the mintage was, I knew what those coins would be worth. That was a simple equation. Once you know how many they're going to chuck out, it's not hard to work out value based on previous. And at 600,000, well, it makes them the same mintage as in England. I think it was in England, if I remember rightly. Northern Ireland was about 450,000-ish. And England, 2002, was about 600,000-ish. So it's about on par with in England. Now, at the time that they brought out, this is 2015, at the time they brought out the Navy and the Britannia, the England was selling for about 20 odd quid. I know that because I was selling it for that. And this is before I did all my advance orders in force as such. I did a few, but not quite that many. So I knew that even though that coin is here now and it's all over the place, you open up a bag of £2 coins, you go searching through it, you're going to find Belfast, 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 Britannia, 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 Britannia. You're going to find them one after the other, after the other, after the other. But of course, understanding supply and demand and understanding the value, every time, that's 20 quid, 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 I'm taking out the bag. I put them aside. And I rated their value at within a couple of years, I said they'll be 25 quid. That is their value. Based on the England, based on this, based on that, that is their value. It doesn't matter that you're finding them like confetti, that is going to be their value. And I even sold some at 25 quid. Sold quite a few at 25 quid as it goes. And so that was But this is before I actually was verbal with all of you guys, telling you that this is what they're worth, this is what they're worth, right? Because that started about a year ago, 18 months ago. I was telling you what they was worth, maybe about 18 months ago. So it's before then, right? This goes back to, I'll actually give you a date. We can do dates on this. This is great. I love my iPhone. I will never change my iPhone. Every message, everything, it's on here. In the days before this, your phone would only hold so many messages. Now I've got messages going back 10 years on my iPhone. And whilst messages to me are private, I don't just, I'm not a kiss and tell. I don't just do the dirty on people and we'll talk about your messages. Your messages to me are private until you do the dirty on me. I will never do the dirty on someone else. Never, 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 never. I take that privacy so seriously, even more so in the last 20 years from knowing Fran because of how private her business is. So I take that really, really seriously. But when somebody, like if you remember what happened with Warren, and he came on did a video of his phone and he went, oh, look at these messages from Ian, look how bad he is and look how nasty he is. And he chose which message to read out and read it out of context. Then I go, things like that, I go, well, hang on a minute, no. If we're going to do the messages, we do all the messages. Even the ones that make me look a plank, we do the lot. We don't just pick a couple up. Or if you rob me. So, I can't help smiling because I can't tell you how much of a relief it is. I mean, I could almost flood into tears with relief. That wouldn't be anger. That would be just relief, just smiling and happy relief at understanding, at knowing. Because I didn't know. This is nearly 3 years and I didn't know all this time. I've only just put the two together, and how I did this was completely by accident. I've got to say, it was by accident. I was looking for I wanted to text somebody, one of you, and the person that I was trying to text, he's a Dave, but he's in my phone as David. So I'm looking for Dave, as you do, because it's like Dave. So I'm looking for Dave. I can't find this person's number that I'm looking for, David. Well, it won't show, will it? Because I'm looking for Dave. I'm not looking for David. So, but I've looked for Dave. And as I'm trying to find this person's text, I think, I know this somewhere. I've come across this one. Completely by accident. Dave Hill. And I've had to digest this for a couple of days and look into it. So we're going back to January 2018. We're now in almost December 2020. So that is nearly 3 years. In another month, it will be 3 years. Right? And there you go. That's the very first message. Right? There's no message before that. So we're talking 27th of January 2018 at 33 minutes past 2 in the afternoon. I'd come across this person selling, and this is Dave Hill. Dave Hill is part of Change Range, and this is where Change Range and Lee Holt are going to start to come into it. It's mental, absolutely mental. So we're going back 3 years, January 2018, right? And I've come across this seller on eBay that's selling a load of £2 coins. And I know they're valuable. Belfast, Britannia, I know they're valuable. So I've done a deal with him. Now, I made the mistake of doing the deal outside of eBay. So we've got, hi Ian, it's Dave from eBay. Yeah, 700 plus postage is good for me. How are we going to arrange it? Do you want me to list them as a job lot on eBay, or do you want my bank details for a direct bank transfer? So I'm going to do this each time because I want you to know, like I did before when we did the text with Warren, I want you to know that what I'm saying, I'm not saying anything made up. I'm not saying anything untoward. I'm saying what's actually happened, right? And this info. Right. So there's his thing saved in my phone. Okay, so I respond with, and this is really important, and it's really important for any of you that trade on eBay and any of you that might do deals outside of eBay, right? Don't talk about it in eBay messages because eBay get the ump if you talk to each other through their message system and you do a deal and you send the money friends and family and eBay don't get any commission. And the reason they get the ump is because they take the view that, hang on a minute, you're using our service. You are communicating through our messaging service. If you want to go and do deals with each other, I'll go over there and do deals with each other. Go somewhere else. But you're in eBay in our system. So if you want to do deals, you do deals and we get commission. Plus, you have got guarantees if you do the deals within eBay. If you do a deal outside of eBay, you take a risk. So me doing a deal outside of eBay, that's me taking a risk. You've got to hold your hands up to that and go, it's your own fault. If anything goes wrong, it's your own fault. Okay, so I respond immediately with, hi Dave, probably better not to talk anymore on eBay about this deal as we could both get suspended for trading outside of eBay. Yes, that's fine. Give me bank details. I'm off for a Saturday meeting at the accountant, so we'll be tied up for the rest of the day. Yes, I'm happy with that. You have a deal, right? So you have a deal. We have a deal. Whatever he was offering me at the time for 700 quid plus postage, we've got a deal. Nothing wrong with that. Apart from the fact we did it outside of eBay. That was a bit naughty. So that he could save, what, 70 quid on the deal on commission for eBay. Actually didn't do me any favours. It's not like he was saying to me, I should have said, no, do it for eBay, because then I would have had it. Anyway. So that's my message to him, and you can see his one at the top there. That's my message to him. Now this next message, I can't really show you, because it says, okay, account name, Mr. David C. Hill, sort code, and I've got his sort code. This is my phone. Technology for this is phenomenal. Account number, and I've got his account number. This is 3 years later and I've still got it there. Text me your address when transfer for £710 is made, and I will post special delivery signed for in a heavy duty box. So if I just take that up to and hide, so where you see the blue line, that's the blue line under his account number. So I'll just, so you can't see his account number. See that blue line? That's his account number. So what you're getting is the rest of that text, right? I said, okay. He's chasing me up. It's now the 30th of January. I obviously haven't paid him yet. So it's 2 days later at 9:21 in the morning. Hi Ian, do you still want these £2 coins as I need the money in my bank ASAP as I will be posting early Wednesday morning? Dave. So he's chasing me up for the money. It's a daft way to chase somebody up for money, I have to say, you know. I need the money in my bank as soon as possible because I'm posting them Wednesday morning. Actually, no, you wouldn't. You wouldn't be posting them if you haven't received the money, but that's besides the point. Yes, I said, I just haven't had a chance to get to the bank and put some in. I'll get back to you later today. Then I got back to him. Hi Dave, I can't get to the bank till tomorrow afternoon, but I can do a PayPal payment now. What would you prefer? I can send it friends and family. And he says, prefer bank transfer if that's okay. Sorry it took so long as I don't take phone to work. Let me know when it's done and I will go to the post office. I say, no problem. I'll do it tomorrow afternoon. And he says, okay, I'm off work till Friday AM. Right, just benign conversation, but you see, that's what you have to have. If you're going to go down this route, anybody, if you go down this route of going, oh, I'm going to show you the text, I'm going to show you what somebody said, well, you're going to have to do the lot. You know, benign as it is, and all the crap that goes with it, and it don't mean anything, you've got to show the lot, because you've got to show that you're speaking the truth. 31st of January 2018 at 4:06. Just transferred the money, Dave. He says, thanks, we'll post at 9 AM Thursday. Tracking number is, I won't read the tracking number, but you can see it. That's not breaking data protection. 1 PM special delivery. Posted, and he wrote that. Then he wrote it on the 1st of February. Posted tracking number changed too. So he's changed the tracking number. Thank you, Dave. Just got it. Hope it's okay, he says. Right. So you can, I suppose, I don't know if they're still valid, but I suppose you could write those tracking numbers down just to prove that I am saying that all this is true, and even check the tracking to see whether or not, you know, that parcel was sent. He says, hope it's okay. That's his, hope it's okay. So then on the 2nd of February, I say, I won't have a chance to check till after the weekend, but I'm sure it's bang on. He says, sure you will find it was a good buy. I say the next day on the 3rd of February, thanks, Dave. Looking for the new pot coins if you come across them. I only have them in sets, he says, if you mean the 2017 sets of 4. And I say at that time, I have Tale of Peter Rabbit, but not the others. So there is the conversation so far. Starts with, hope it's okay. Right, and then you've got that bit. Yeah, so I've told him I've got the parcel, I've got to sort it out, I've got to look through it. You know, we're just having, you know, conversation. Nor me, he says. Haven't seen any bags anywhere. I know you're sitting there thinking, what a load of old toffee. What are you doing here? All will become clear. Ah, Chris, just had a text from somebody. Could you do me a little favour, Chris, and have a check to make sure that Ian Rossiter has managed to use his points correctly? He asked me, and I said I'd ask you, and I forgot. So could you just have a little check and give us a thumbs up over there if he has, so that I can tell him. Because he was a bit unsure as to doing that. So he says, anyway, nor me, haven't seen any bags anywhere. Have seen circulated coins on change checker at £3 each plus postage. Keep me in mind, says I, if anything comes up you think I'll want. Okay, says Dave Hill. I say to him, to save me looking through the box, Dave, were any of these Fire of London £2? I can't remember that I bought of him. Why would I say that? Probably because I might have sold some £2, realised I haven't got any left, and wondered whether or not there was any in the box I got off him. That was on the 5th of February. So there we have with, keep me in mind, okay, he says, to save me looking through the box, blah, 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 right? Now we come to it. 6th of February, 2018. Hi, Dave. Pardon me. The only anger thing I feel, a bit of anger, is what I've gone through stress-wise in the last 3 years. How much of that has helped towards my condition? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. So 6th of February. Hi, Dave. I'm sorry to have to say, but there is something wrong with the delivery. There are quite a few missing. Supposed to be 66 Belfast, including 3 sealed bags. There is only 36 Belfast, including 3 sealed bags. So 30 Belfast missing. This is 30 coins that I know is as rare as in England. So we're not talking about just a couple of things. Do you know what I mean? Let's just send him a quick. Yes, you're doing it right, mate. Okay, so we'll be able to go off and get that done now. Where's that? Where's Dave gone? No. Where's that Daisy? Oh, there it is. No. Wrong one. Where's that? Dave. Hill. I've got to find it again. But anyway, it's all right. So, supposed to be 66 Belfast, including 3 sealed bags. There's only 36 Belfast, including 3 sealed bags. So 30 Belfast missing. I'm not a tight ass, but I do want what I paid for. Supposed to be 8 times 2016 Britannia. Instead, there is only 7. Should be 8 times 2015 Britannia, but there are 10. So 2 over. I'm honest. Plus 1 train, not mentioned. Plus 1986, not mentioned. If we take off the overs, I make it 27 more Belfast should do it, and we're square. So I'm not even being penny pinching and saying, you know, add these back and give me what it is. It's like, well, all right, I've got 3 that I shouldn't have. Let's knock them off, obviously. And I've put, and we are square. I can assure you, I'm not crooked, and this is exactly what's been delivered. So there's me asking for the Fire of London, £2. If you remember the previous one, just to show that it is the next one. You know, me asking about the Fire of London, and then there's me saying what I said. Right, nice and polite. I've not called him any names. I've not called him a crook. I've not called him anything like that. It's like there's obviously a mistake. Let's just rectify it. Okay. So you can see the actual conversation, you can read it yourself, and you can see that I'm not telling you porcupines. So next, we go up to the next one, which is the 20th of February. Now Dave now stops talking to me by text. Now Dave won't communicate by text. Dave only communicates by eBay. eBay messages, dangerous. And I already told him not to do it, but he will only do that. Now, I've gone on to eBay to see if I can find those messages from 3 years ago. Not a chance. So all you've got is the one-sided conversation, because I'm now talking to him by text. He won't talk to me by text. He wants to talk to me by eBay messages. 20th of February. Hello, Dave. I have heard nothing back from you for several weeks now. I work out you owe me around 27 Belfast. Can you please get back to me? Right. So I'm imploring him to get back to me. My next text is, it's a funny old world, isn't it, Dave? You start by rudely calling me a crook. Then I put money in your pocket. Oh, yeah, that's right. So, you know, when, I don't know if any of you have experienced something like this, but for example, I'll give an example, and it might even be the one. I can't tell you what it was, but I can give you this example. So I would have a £5 coin. When the £5 coin, £5 notes first came out, which is around this time, just before, the £5 notes came out of polymers. So I thought, right, I'll sell a cheap and cheerful one that's creased up, whatever, for £8. I'll sell a good condition one. Well, good condition's got to be more expensive, so I did that at a tenner or something like that. And I did an uncirculated one, crystal, brand new, for £15. And I sold a lot of them. But I would also have people come and send me a message every now and again, and a string of abuse, calling your names, calling you crooked, Oh, you're selling a £5 note for 15 quid, you're crooked, you are. And me and John would talk to each other and go, why are we crooked then, John? Did you go around that person's house and put a gun to their head and make them buy it? And he'd go, no. Did you? I'd go, no. They just came along and bought it all on their own. So why are we crooked? We put it up for a price. This is the price I want for it. You don't have to pay that price, but if you want it, you pay the price. So people would come across and call us crooked because we're selling money. And they don't like it. They think it's wrong. You can't charge 60 quid for a £20 note. You can't charge 30 quid for a £10 note. That's out of order. You're a crook. Who am I being crooked with? No one. And he was one of those. But it was one of those where he came along and he went, rah, 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 like this. And we got talking. And I ended up going and having a look at what he had for sale. And I ended up going, well, look, we can do a deal. I'll buy off you. Right? So then he went from rah, 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 to all nice and icy because now I'm going to put money in his pocket. Some people. Possibly thought 20 per bag, right? 50p's. It is possible as an oversight. Yeah, I've made that mistake so many times. You know, you probably have as well, Steve. Imagine all this due to an accident. Yeah, yeah. And what is the same in this scenario as in the Warren scenario is you have all of this trouble because somebody finds it really difficult to literally go, my bad, sorry, yeah, I misunderstood, yeah, I made a mistake, yeah, I shouldn't have done that, I shouldn't have said that, my bad, sorry. That's it. The minute you do that, there's no issue. All you do is work on the issue that was caused. But, you know, there's none of this going on. So I put, it's funny old world, isn't it? You start off by rudely calling me a crook, because that's how that conversation started. Then I put money in your pocket. Now you're starting to look like you have done me for nearly 30 coins. Not answering my messages only adds to it, I'm afraid. Please respond. Right, so there's the one, there's nothing back from you. There's the one, funny old world. I'm starting to get narked now. I can't remember this conversation, by the way, but just reading the conversation, it's like, yeah, I would start getting narked now because now you're just winding me up. 21st of February 2018 at 12:35, I say to him, hi Dave, I'm still waiting to hear back from you. I'm trying not to think you're ignoring me and maybe have some issues of your own you're dealing with. But, and I put if, but when it should have been of, issues of your own you're dealing with. But you have to admit this looks bad. Please respond. What? Please respond. Okay, so there we are, right there. Please respond, yeah. 21st of February, okay? Next message I send him is the 15th of March. 15th of March. So, it's, you know, I'm giving him time and all that. It's not like I'm 15th of March. Hi, Dave. I'm sorry, but your actions have now left me thinking you are actually ignoring my messages and phone calls. So I've tried phoning. Again, like I said at the beginning of this, you have a problem. It really, really does make sense to ring that person up or talk to them in some way, you know, and go, Stevie, you offended me because you did this. Or ringing me up, Ian, you offended me because you did this. Give somebody the chance to apologise, sort it out. The only reason you would ignore me is because you knew you were stitching me up. I still find that incredulous, really, but what can I do? We didn't do the purchase in eBay, so I can't leave you bad feedback. I will just have to buy from your eBay and get some friends to do the same. That was me being angry, because I rarely say anything like that, you know, where I'll threaten to get other people to go and give bad feedback. I realise that that is not a good way to act, and that was bad of me to even say that. And that's the kind of thing I mean about apologising for the way that I deal with it, right? Because that is the wrong way to deal with it. It's no different to going, having an argument with someone and then going, I'm going to go and get my mates and we're all going to punch you on the nose. No, it's wrong. And that was wrong of me to say that. I think it's really shitty, mate, I said. I trusted you. You contact me out of the blue and call me a crook, that you and you then steal from me. Who does that? By the way, you can't do, I found this funny. By the way, you can't do pre-orders on eBay, so you will likely get suspended. And £20 for a £2 coin on pre-order is nothing short of a rip-off. Now, I'm going to on myself on the back here. I am the king of pre-orders. Nobody else has ever done pre-orders the way that I did pre-orders, and it worked until it didn't. And when it didn't, when it all went screwed up, that, you know, I've stopped. But it worked, and I knew what I was doing. And you don't overcharge people on a pre-order. The idea is you've got to charge them less than what they would pay retail or cheaper anywhere else, because they're giving you the money in advance. So you've got to give people a rip your arm off deal. You can't go charging people the right money. And I'd obviously had a look at his listings, and I said, you know, that's what they're doing is out of order. And I put, there is copying me and there is blatantly ripping people off. Because I was the first person, the very first person to sell random notes. Nobody else did that before me. When I was selling the £5 notes, the polymers and the 10s and all that, and selling money, I wasn't selling only the numbers. I was the first person to put a listing up and say, I've got 100 of these £5 notes available, £15 each, and it's a random serial number. And then I would look, and as time went on, I would get slagged off, and people would be really bitchy and nasty. And then you go and look on these people's eBay and see that they've listed the same thing for cheaper than me. So now they're listing a random £5 note for 12 quid. Random five. Do you know what I mean? So I was getting copied left, right, and centre. I said, there's copying me and there's blatantly ripping people off. You know, not up for that. So this is, so it's 15th of March, right? So there's, remember, looks bad, please respond. That was the 20th of February. And now you can see 15th of March, right? So I'm not an ogre. I'm not a bastard. I'm not a bully, like I've been made out to be. I'm not a crook, like I've been made out to be. I actually really do give people chance after chance after chance. I do. We all make mistakes. Catch you later, Stevie. So I text him again. Same day, I'm angry now. I'm now going to cost you severely. I guess you, and then I present him another one. I guess you craftily thought blocking me would do the trick. He's blocked me on eBay now. I'm now going to cost you severely. Oh, I've got to show you that it was after that other one. Yeah, blatantly ripping people off. I'm now going to cost you severely. I guess you craftily thought blocking me would do the trick. In the next one, every purchase will be a negative comment, and I will leave the comments each week so they count. Got to wait a week between comments if you want them to count. I've been doing this for 20 years, Dave. It was a mistake to rip me off. And then another one, that will do for starters. Right? I'm not going to leave it alone. You've done me for 27 coins. I want them. Then I said, it's actually safer for you to message me here. All conversing in eBay will do is dig you a hole. I won't rest till I cost you what should have been 100 times. It's come out 109. I won't rest till I cost you 109 times what you owe me, Dave. So it's in your interest to stop ignoring me. Go to eBay, you get closed down. Go to the police, you get arrested. It's totally stupid. That was my last text to him. Right? So now we understand how and why I offended Dave Hill in the first place. Right? Excuse me a sec. So we actually now have an understanding, because before this, before I read that out, none of us know why I've upset this Dave Hill and what he's got to do with it and why he should be writing to our service provider to get us taken offline and all these things. Breaking news, just something to put in from Chris. Due to ongoing problems with the point system on the raffles, we've been having some issues with the point system. I have just completed swapping to a new system. If anyone has problems, please let me know. Thank you. So if you have any problems at all with the raffle site, it's admin at tgbchraffle.com. Okay, and then you'll speak to Chris direct. But so that is ongoing. Right. So what was I saying? Yeah, so going on for 3 years now. So now we know, at least we know in our mind, I know you know now, because I've absolutely proved it with the message between us. So you know, and I know where this has come from. 27 £2 coins. That's what this is about. £54 worth of face value. And if you want to have it right, 27 times £25 each is £675 worth of merchandise that would sell for £25 each, £675. If you listed it and just left it there, it would sell. Not fast, but it would sell. So we're looking at £675 worth of goods and only 27 £2 coins, 54. And how much was he selling them to me for? He's probably selling them to me for about, I don't know, you have to work out £700 divided by all those coins. What's it work out? 4 quid each, something like that. I don't know. Anyway, now what we go to is, let's search for Lee Holt. Because an interesting thing about Lee Holt and where he comes into it is that Lee Holt is such a nice 3 years of messages here. And you can't just press a button and go to the beginning. Lee Holt, he is the person who fronts Change Range. Right, so he fronts Change Range, and Dave Hill works with him. I don't know who owns it. I don't know if they're partners or whatever, but I do know that there are 2 people that I know of part of Change Range. And those 2 people are Lee Holt and Dave Hill. I don't know any others. They may have more. I don't know. So now I'm going to, now remember this, the relationship between me and Dave Hill starts in January 2018. Okay. It starts in January 2018, and he's done me out of 27 coins, and he's not answering my messages, and we've gone right up to March. Right. Now, I do know that he did sort me out. I can't prove that he sorted me out to you, but I can tell you he sorted me out eventually. Because we both got suspended off eBay for a start. Because he wouldn't stop with the messages on eBay, I'm texting on the phone, but he keeps messaging through eBay. And I was saying to him through eBay and that, you know, they're going to suspend us both. And he wouldn't have it. He wouldn't listen. We ended up getting suspended. So for the sake of those 27 bloody coins, I lost nearly a month's worth of business because it meant I wasn't allowed to list any more items and stuff like that. It was a nightmare, just over that. And I kept telling him, don't converse by eBay, converse outside of eBay. We've done the deal outside of eBay. If you do the deal outside of eBay, don't be stupid and talk about it in eBay. See what I mean? Anyway, so he settled and he either refunded me or sent me extra coins. But that's where we got to, right? So you could say, okay, done and dusted now. You've got yourself sorted. You're back to normal. No more argument, right? Yeah, I thought. So then my first with Lee Holt, who is also part of Change Range, and I don't know this at the time I start talking to Lee Holt, is on 2nd of November 2019 at 5:45 in the evening. Ian, I've emailed you this afternoon. I've now found you on Facebook. Do you want to have an adult conversation, one that's not shared on social media or YouTube? Regards, Lee. This is the one I messaged in, and I texted, found you. Right. And I've said to him, if it's all right with you, we'll do, actually, if it's okay with you, let's catch up tomorrow. It's late and I'm about to have dinner. Plus, I would like to keep in the wife's good book. So she's been under enough stress lately. This is November 2019, remember. It's been going on a long time with, where are we now? 2020, November 2019. So this is just before my dad dying and the issues with Warren. This is a month or so before. So not that I knew it at the time, but this conversation I'm actually having with Lee is probably about 2 weeks before my dad died. Right, so anyway, showing you that. So, and some of this is going to be benign, but it's where an odd one comes into it and you think, oh, now I know what I know. Oh, penny drops. I'm back. I've contacted YouTube about my membership badge not being there. Oh, okay. That's weird. The only way I know that happens is if you sign in with a different email address, because that's happened to somebody else. Catch up starting tomorrow. Of course, he says, and I'm not here to add to your stress either, Ian. I hope at the end of this we both understand each other better. I'm not the guy you think I am, and I'm guessing you aren't either. Morning, Lee. I'm available if you are. It says for a hit, but I don't know. Oh, for a bit. It's probably meant I'm available for a bit if you are. You know, bit time. 5th of November. Okay, we'll reply ASAP. He says, just benign now. No worries. Just let me know when you're ready. Sorry, Ian. I've been busy with the Snowman release. Ready when you are. I'll start if that's okay. Then we have somewhere to go. My first question is, what gives you the right to call me dodgy and crooked without shred of proof? Let's not mess about. Let's just go straight into it. You know, I'm available for a bit. Okay, we'll reply. No worries, let me know. Sorry, I'm being busy. Ready when you are. I'll start if that's okay with you. Right then, what gives you the right to call me dodgy and a crook? He says, I don't think I've actually called you that, to be fair. And remember, this was last year after I got complaints from members. I said, you have used the words dodgy and crooked in the past. Doesn't matter when. Doesn't matter what someone might or might not have told you. One doesn't call someone crooked or dodgy without any proof. I'm polite. I've been made out to be such a troublemaking person on this social media lark. He says, I could only go off, and this is where we're going to get to part of the conversation that I make a lot of you wince over. I could only go off what members told me at the time, and to be fair, you did look like that. If it's any consolation, I don't think that now. Oh, that's all right. You've ripped all those bits of paper. You took them over there. You let them blow in the wind. But it's all right now, is it? You proved that in Lisa's group, he says. So he agrees I'm not a crook, and he agrees I've proved I'm not a crook in Lisa's group. One at a time, we agreed, I said. I see, said I. So would you agree that, and this is where, as I said, I make a lot of people wince, but there's no difference. Understand that. There is no difference in my mind. I see, said I. So would you agree then that if someone told me you was a pedo, or if I saw you talking to a child, that I have the right to add 2 and 2 and make 5? Or do you think someone should first gain evidential proof before defaming somebody? And this is why I mentioned the pedo thing. It's like, that is, in my line of business, to say to me that I'm a crook is as offensive as saying to somebody that works in a children's home, you look like a pedo. But that, you say that, oh, yeah, I think you look like a pedo then. That is to say to somebody that is going over the top. And that's, you know, my apology for smashing somebody's face in. It's like, well, but it's okay in my line of work to call me a crook. That is as big an offensive word as what a pedo is to a person that works in a children's home who is not a pedo. It's as offensive to them that is as what that is to me. And I generally put it in a polite way. It's easy to label, yes. Nationwide, I just had a notification to say it's coming up on our end that you're not a supporter, that you're thingy. So that's why that might be. It could be that he just got missed off this month. So he says it's easy to label, yes. I'm man enough to apologise for thinking that, which I thought was nice of him. I say, thank you kindly for that. You have spent more than a year besmirching my rep. It's no wonder he wants to have this conversation away from social media, is it? You spend more than a year slating somebody and putting them through the ringer publicly. But then what you want to do is have a little conversation with them privately to say sorry. Thank you kindly for that. I said, you've spent more than a year besmirching my reputation based on nothing more than hearsay and what someone told you. You're a man of 50, you told me. So you must have seen 100 times over there are two sides to every story. Yet you and Lisa went for the throat based on pure hearsay and what you were told. Had I decided to call you a pedo for that length of time without a shred of proof, there would be people out there believing it and making your life hell. I want you to know your constant bullying and finger pointing without any proof has had an effect. Though I don't have bricks through my window, I do have people listening to you regarding trading standards and calling me up pretending to be them, pretending to be trading standards. You have trashed me over no proof whatsoever. You do realise this, Lee. Apologise for thinking that, he says. There's me saying, well, okay. You can all see that. You might not be able to read it all quick, but you can sort of have a quick scan. You know it's there, and you can, if you get a chance, you can come back to the playback. But But I do urge anybody watching this, copy it if you can copy it. If you know how to copy this off YouTube, copy it, put it on your own YouTube, put it on your own Facebook, get it on Facebook. Because it needs to be seen. See, I haven't gone on like you say I have. This was when you were invited to Lisa's group, he says, and I had members coming forward saying you owe them money, which you did tell them to contact you over. I've not said much about you since then. And yes, I told them to contact Trading Standards. Oops. And yes, I told them to contact Trading Standards. There's a thing, you know, when people put themselves right up on a pedestal, people that throw stones shouldn't live in glass houses. So he says, I'm not causing you this problem, blah, 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 blah. So I go, so this isn't you then, Lee. Right, catch up with the rest of the nutters, he writes. He's just feeding his dog. Be quick or you will miss it. Biggest con man in the world, says Dave McLaren. What a nutter. So what happens is, you see, you have people like this, Lee Holt and Lisa McLaughlin, and they say nasty, horrible things in a group, and then they apologise for it a year later. Oh, sorry, I got it wrong. But in that year, of course, they incite loads of people like this one here. And then they incite people to go off calling you a crook and all the rest of it, and a con man and all the rest of it. None of them know why they're doing it, of course. They just do it. And they do it because the one on the pedestal says to do it, says that this is dodgy and a con man and all the rest of it. So they all chirp in. That's like a dozen of you standing outside somebody's house. One of you picks up a little tiny piece of gravel, little stone, right? Lobs it at the window. Doesn't have much effect. But the rest of the people, they pick up stones and bricks, wallop, they go through the window. Lee Holt is the one throwing and then going, yeah, but it's not my fault. Oh, it's not my fault. You got bricks through the window. I only threw a little bit of grit. It's not my fault these other people listened to what I said, then made up their own mind, which was wrong, and then put bricks through your window. Oh, no, that's not my fault. I said, so this kind of thing isn't you then, Lee? He goes, yep, that's me. And you believe yourself to be fair by allowing me to be called a con man on a thread you started without any proof. He says, I didn't start that thread, nor do I call you a con man here. Oh, that makes it all right then, does it? That makes it all right then. So that makes you chirping in and saying these things and winding these people up to throw their bricks while you're throwing your little bits of grit. You know, I don't want to get in trouble. No. I'm not going to get in trouble because I'm not going to put his window through. I'm just going to throw little bits of gravel and annoy him. That's all I'm going to do. But these people that are listening to me, they're going to pick up the bricks and they're going to lob them through his window. So I can stay squeaky clean. But you allow it, Lee, and that's the point. You will see it in Darren's post, he says. I say you're only allowing negative comments. He says it's not my group here. I said, I see, but you don't mind joining in the banter. Again, I ask you, even though I know the answer, would it be right or fair for me to allow or join in conversations where you're called a pedo without having any proof? And then blame it on the fact it's not my group and it's not my thread. Most groups do have banter, he says. Nothing wrong with my comment either. I'd say it again too. I know that's not what you want to hear, but far worse is said about you by others, not me. Oh, that's all right then, eh? That's all right. It's banter. It's just banter. Yeah. So it's all right to, I don't know, what would it be all right to do then? If that's okay, is it okay to have a bit of banter in a group and call somebody a fat whatever? Would it be all right to call somebody a fat slag or a fat wanker or whatever? Would that be all right? Because it's just a bit of banter and they are fat. So would that be all right? Or would that be cruel? Would it be nasty? Would it be evil? Would it be vindictive? Would it be cruel? Or is it nice? My nanny used to say to me, and she used to slap me for it and all. She used to say, Ian, if you can't say nothing nice, don't say nothing at all. Poof, right round the back of the ear roll. If you ain't got something nice to say, keep your mouth shut, she used to say to me. And it makes it okay because other people have said worse. How does that make it okay? How do you even justify that? Is it all right for me to call Nanny Sue a load of names just because other people call her worse? How does that even compute with somebody's mind? But that's insane. I say, we're not talking about others, Lee. I'm keeping this specific as we agreed. I'm not talking to them, I'm talking to you. If you think it's okay, then I have my answer. You think it's okay for someone to join in that bullying banter, calling you a pedo without any proof. And if anything happens to you along the way, like abusive phone calls, you're okay with that because it's just banter. You won't mind if that banter becomes partly responsible for stress and health issues. I will respect your honesty in telling me that's how you see it. I think it's wrong and it's bullying and trolling, but you don't. You think this kind of behaviour is okay, so I have my answer. Worse by others than you, not me. Right? You can see with the tone, I mean, there is a point in this at which I become really nasty, but you can see my tone when I deal with people is polite. I make a point, but it's polite. It's like, we've got a problem, let's sort it out, but let's do it in an adult fashion at least. You know, we're not kids in a playground. We don't have to have despitefulness and nastiness. Let's try and sort our problems out. I did this for Warren. I did this with Lee. I've done it with so many people. If you read everything that's said about you, Ian, you will be in an early grave. I didn't start it, by the way, nor did you for that matter, and I can't speak for other people's comments. I can, however, going forward, not get involved. Oh, that's big of you. Isn't it? Isn't it? That's big of him. I can not get involved in the future, which turns out to be one of the biggest lies of all because he just didn't stop. To put this particular issue to bed, says I would be looking for an apology for anything you've said without proofs, and ideally any posts of such a nature being removed by a promise that I would trust you with. In other words, you promised me you're going to remove them, I trust you with that, right? Any posts of such a nature being removed by a promise that I would trust you with. That's how that issue resolves, in my opinion. Okay. I can't remove posts from groups I don't manage, Ian, and I would not have anything posted on the groups I do manage. You've had an apology already. Oh, that's nice of you. Yeah. Yeah, do it all publicly. Do all the nastiness and the attacking and the bullying and all of that stuff. Do it all publicly. Then tell somebody privately, "Oh, you're sorry," and that makes it okay. No, never in a million years does that make it okay. If you look up, one of the last things you said was, most groups do have banter. If you look up, I'm going right. If you look up. One of the last things you said was, most groups do have banter. Nothing wrong with my comment either. I'd say it again too. I know that's not what you want to hear, but far worse is said about you by others, not me. You'd say it again. And the words, "I am sorry for the distress I caused you," are a bit different in my worldly. I'll read that again. You would say it again. And the words, "I'm sorry for the distress I caused you," are a bit different in my world. So he's saying he would say it all over again. And I'm saying, well, that's not an apology. An apology is an apology. That ain't an apology. In my world, the two of them, completely different. I'd say it again. I'm sorry. They're completely different things. I don't know why I've said this bit. It will be your turn in a minute, and I'm ready for any apology I might need to make. So I'm probably getting angry now. But anyway. If you look up, one of the last things you said was, because of course that's what he said. So he says, "The distress was not my doing, Ian. I've apologised for calling you any names already, but again, I'm man enough to apologise for anything that I may have said that's caused you distress. I watched a video someone sent to me last night of you getting upset, and I could see that was genuine. Nobody deserves that. So why'd you do it to me then? Nobody deserves it." "Thank you kindly," said I. "That actually means a great deal, believe it or not. I'm grateful. Whatever I've done, you're right. I don't deserve what I'm getting from various places." "Okay, I've had my first one. Your turn. What is your biggest bugbear that you have to have continued this for so long?" He says king, but it meant so long. "What have I done to you that's so bad?" Right, so I'm asking, like my example earlier on about Stevie Fraser having a row with your mate or whatever, you find out, don't you? What is it? What is it that's got you so anti-me? What? Hello, Caspers. He puts, "We are at opposite ends of the spectrum. I'm a collector and you are a seller. Your business model, which I have to admit you did change, getting rid of listings of coins that would not enter circulation. There's no point me going into other stuff like investments, etc. That's your business and not for me to change. Your prices are ridiculous, but again, that's up to you. So from someone like me and many others, that is not what we want from a company, with respect." You haven't really said what you don't want from a company. That doesn't really make a great deal of sense. "Okay," says I, "there are various issues here, so let's take them one at a time, as we agreed. My prices are ridiculous. If you believe that, then give me an example." He writes, "You really don't have to, it's your business." I write, "But I do have to. It's what we agreed, and I am prepared to get to the end of the road we are in. Why do we have to be against each other? You have the opportunity to have me address every gripe you may have. Now, I cannot. Can anybody be fairer than that? Is it even remotely possible for anybody to be fairer than that? To say to somebody, look, I just want to talk about whatever it is, your problem is. Let's have it, and I'll sort it. We aren't, Ian, honestly. I'm telling you the reasons why I wouldn't recommend your company to any of my members. I say, so you can then go off and at least be truthful in whatever you say about me. Exactly. So let's examine those reasons just in case you might be wrong in something. Don't I deserve that at least? I also go on to say, you've slated me for over a year. Unless you actually know any different, you're just going to repeat the same old abdicated rubbish. I don't deserve a chance to put, I deserve a chance to put you right at least. Prices are a big bugbear for you, so let's start there. Okay, still trying, I'm trying. Now, I didn't know that he was high up on a pedestal at this point. I didn't know he was quite high up in the altcoin world. Everybody looks at him like a god. He put, see, most collectors know the going rate for coins. So when we see your prices, we just see, for want of a better word, rip-off. But again, that's your right to charge what you like. I say, so give me an example of a rip-off. He says, okay, let's take the Mary Rose £2, for example. You have it listed at £12.95. It's no wonder he wants to have this conversation privately. If he had this conversation publicly, he would get mullered. Excellent, I said. That's a good choice. Excellent, I said. 1,040,000 circulated. He says it sells for £4, but now you will tell me that you sell them at £12.95. This is why we won't agree, but that's fine. I'm not here to change your mind. It sells for £4, said I, really? As in an odd auction, or you actually know someone that retails them for £4? I check sold prices on eBay, he says, and groups every day. It's my job. I like this one. It's good. I said, there is no retailer selling them at £4. He says, of course not, but hundreds of sellers on eBay and groups do. I say, you have already agreed there is a difference between collectors and me being a retailer. I am no hobbyist. I retail. That's the first point. He writes, exactly, and that's why we would never point a member in your direction. Right? So that is Lee Holt putting it in writing that they will never point a member in my direction because I'm a retailer. That's why. But they will advertise the links left, right and centre for the Royal Mint and Westminster Collection, and Lee Holt's group is mainly a Westminster Collection group with a big tie to Ian Glenn and Westminster. He only allows, one of the groups he runs, he only allows Westminster Collection links, doesn't allow any other retailer to advertise to coin collectors, which is discrimination of the highest degree. So I put, a collector or someone that finds one in their change will be able to sell cheaper than me. That's quite obvious. I have 5 staff to pay for. I'm not a collector or someone making a few quid with what I find in my change, topping up my wages. Right. He replies, I get all that, but I'm just explaining it from our side. I say, you are against me for charging a price that I pay wages and tax and insurance on, Yet you are not against those people selling too cheap and quite obviously not paying their share of tax on the profits. We don't like recommending Westminster, he says, but unfortunately they are the cheapest. Of course they're the cheapest, because they've got a special deal with the Royal Mint. They're a monopoly run by a cartel and helped by people like Lee in these groups that don't allow anybody else to get a look-see. Other retailers are not allowed to look in. And Joe Muppet here is the idiot that came along and got caught up in all of this and is too used to planting his feet and going, no, that's not right. That is not right. Which I've never bothered. I say someone selling that coin for £4 is not paying or declaring that profit. And he says, answering a comment I made earlier about the one, you are against me for charging a price that I pay wages and tax and insurance on. He says, no, I'm not against you, Ian. I'm telling you why I would never recommend you. So because I pay tax and wages and insurance and everything, because I pay all the things that you're supposed to pay and doing things properly, you, the whole of Change Range, up there on the pedestal that all these people are doing all this to, you're against us. So what you're against is people doing it properly. What you're for is people doing it like that. It's not me saying it. That's why he'd never recommend me. I put, they are ripping off the tax and therefore ripping off the public, but that's okay as long as it's cheap. It's hard to find a coin and no one is selling it for £4. And I put, you cannot give me a link right now to a seller selling that for just £4. And when I say a seller, I mean any actual seller that has more than one in stock. And then I put, for a retail price point of view, I am actually the cheapest retailer out there. You would be hard pressed to find one cheaper overall than me. So even though he thinks I'm so expensive, hard pressed to find it cheaper than me. He puts, just check sold listings on eBay. Like it or not, that's the benchmark for prices. No, it's not a benchmark for prices, actually. People falsely believe that the sold prices on eBay are a benchmark for prices. No, the sentence doesn't stop there. It is the benchmark for the price today. When that item sells today in an auction for £17.67p, that is the benchmark for that item today. That's all that means. All that means is that the people that were prepared to pay £10 or £20 or more or whatever, they weren't looking today. It doesn't mean the item is not worth more money. It just means whatever it is that you're selling, the people that were prepared to pay more money for it, they just don't happen to be looking today. That's all that means. There are 7 billion people in the world. There are X amount of, there's a billion people on eBay. Not every single person on eBay looks at every single listing all of the time. So I put, no, the benchmark for an average of what something sold for. However, to actually be so incensed as to slag someone off for this long, telling people my prices are wrong, I would think I have the right to say, okay, prove it. Prove to me you can find someone out there selling this coin for the price you've stated. Actually selling it for the price you say it should be retailed at. So you're going to give me all this bullying over my prices, telling me that there are loads and loads of people out there selling them cheaper than me and it should be the... Well, prove it then. I've never slagged you off. I'm just saying what others think about your prices. I said, no, Lee, you're saying what you think about my prices. And I'm giving you the chance to see and prove if what you have been saying, agreeing with, is right or wrong. You've already said you can be man enough to admit when you're wrong. Well, I would like the chance and opportunity to show you how wrong you and those people are. I think that's a fair thing for me to say, don't you reckon? I'm not sure what you mean, he says. I can buy one every day of the week for £4. I'm not incensed either. You have the right to sell at whatever price you want, and I have the right, if asked, to say your prices are ridiculous. So he can buy one every day of the week for £4. Right. I put, we agree on that. I'm asking you to prove it. Give me a link that I can click on. If those sellers are as common as you say at £4, then it will be easy to give me a couple of links. Am I not asking a fair question? I mean, what am I, on a different planet? How many times you got to put that question? Not at all. There are many on eBay right now, or I could buy one from a group member. So again, exasperating, isn't it? So please give me a link then. You can't slate me for charging my prices, telling me it should be £4 and not proving it. Show me a seller that has multiple available. In your opinion, a hard to get coin should be £4 because someone somewhere at some time or another sells one for £4, even though they don't declare their profit and I do. You think a business should make less than double what it lays out. He says, who said anything about multiple? Who said anything about multiple? I said I did, or it's not retail. So he's answering one where it says, where I said, in your opinion, a hard to get coin should be £4 because someone somewhere, blah, 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 blah. So he says, like I say, it's your business. And I respect that, but I don't have to agree with what you charge. That's getting a bit Twilight Zone-ish, for me anyway. I said, there is a difference between politely saying you don't have to agree with what I charge and calling me a rip-off and saying I rip off customers. One is polite, the other is slander. And he says, again, I've not said that. Unless you can prove to the contrary. And I can, if push, find where you called me rip-off. Don't tell me you didn't say it. I'll go and find where you told me you said it. He says, compared to what you can buy them for, your prices are a rip-off. I make no bones about that, Ian. But I'm not here to change your prices. So it does get a bit Twilight Zone-ish, doesn't it? Because it's on and on and on and on and on and on. And all you have to do is just give me the link, man. I say, would you be kind enough to look up the definition of rip-off and post it here? Your words are hateful and slanderously. A disagreement over prices is one thing, but calling someone a rip-off is far too strong with no proof. I've asked you how many times and still you can't supply a link to a retailer that sells them for this £4 price. As for compared to the prices I pay the bank £4.50 for each bag of £2 coins, whether I find anything good or not. I pay £12 per hour for someone to sort the coins. I declare what I make to the tax man and pay tax on my earnings. I pay holiday pay of £12 per hour when they go on holiday. I pay sick money. I pay money to the staff pension. I also try to make a profit, and you expect me to do all of that out of £4 for a hard to find coin. So we have to sort of just keep proving, and we show where it starts from that other last bit. So, I'm not picking and choosing and all that kind of stuff that people do nowadays. Some people do that, I don't. At one point, I was paying £1,200 a month just to the bank. That is true. At that time, when the polymers first came out, I just recognised it because we went to the funeral of Fran's stepdad, or was it her mum? No, it was her mum. We went to the funeral of Fran's mum, and I'd just sold. A whole pack of £5 notes. So it was like, I don't know, £1,000 or whatever. 900 quid. I think it was 900 quid I got for what was £500 worth of £5 notes. It was a whole stack, so they were all in number running order. And it was like, wow. And that came through, that's why I remember it, 5 minutes, literally, after we'd walked into Fran's brother's house, coming back from the funeral, sat down, got this ting ching, it went off, and I just sold this £900 for 500 quid's worth of notes. Now, of course, you think, oh, what? But, you know, £900 means you're going to be paying eBay £90 commission. So you've got £500 for the notes, £90 commission, you're now at 600 quid. You've got to pay PayPal commission too, probably 650 quid. You've got to pay postage, make sure it gets there, special delivery, and you've got to pay profit, and you've got to pay tax, etc. So actually, when you're making less than double, it's not. It sounds like it's money for nothing, and it is in a way, but it's not. If you treat it like an ordinary item, it's nothing more than a commodity in that respect. And he goes, and that's why I will never recommend you to any member. Your prices are too high. That's all he wants to bang on about. Really? I said. Incredulous, I find that. That's your reply. I've explained all of this, and your reply is to just go, that's why I'll never recommend it, because your prices are too high. I mean, how is that even having a conversation with an adult? He says a rip-off is something that's grossly overpriced, is it not? I said, by whose definition? And I am showing you how it's not overpriced. You just refuse to back up what you're saying. And he says, we will go round in circles then. Well, of course we're going to go round in circles then. If you don't back up what you're going to say, if you're just going to shout off at the mouth and you're not going to back it up, even though you're asked and asked and asked and asked and asked, well, of course we're going to go round in circles. He says, you or I can go on eBay or any Facebook group today and buy one for around the £4 mark. Yeah, I know that. You keep telling me that, but you don't give any links to prove it. I put, okay, looks like we are going around in circles then and at an impasse. So I'll bring you back to the beginning. If it's okay for you to call me a rip-off without giving any proof whatsoever, even though you have been asked many times, then it would be okay for me to call you a pedo just because I don't like the way you look or the way you look at or talk to children. Would that be okay? Because if it is okay, let's just both do the name calling thing. Personally, I don't think it's okay, but I guess once again, it's up to you. Then I sent him another text. If it was easily possible, you'd have posted a link by now. There are no retailers selling that coin at £4. You're just too far gone to hold your hands up and admit it. It would be all those things Ian says, Manny Sue. I mean, I said at the beginning of this video, I'm going to tell you a story, as they said in Notting Hill, that's going to make your balls shrink to the size of raisins. You know, I mean, it's... Please, my love. Could I have a fag too? Right. You posted a link by now, blah, 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 blah. They're like too far gone, so hold your hands up in it. He says, your prices are the proof, but again, it's up to you. And then he's answering my one where I say, if it was easily possible, you'd have posted a link by now. He says, look on eBay, Ian. Why should I look on eBay? I do look on eBay, and then I see them for £4, and I go and buy them because I'm a retailer. Why would I want to do your job for you? You've proved nothing. Give me a link, and I will. Prove it. Don't just say it. Prove it. He says, you know how to use eBay. I say, I'm not doing your job. You called me a rip-off, so prove it, or you're talking bollocks. He comes up with a listing it's so funny. It's so funny. Look at the listing look at the proof. Just look at this proof. It's mental. We have his proof. It is a 2011 Mary Rose coin, £2 coin, with a starting price of $2.99. A starting price of $2.99. Right? That's his proof. A starting price. So you're not just going to have a go at somebody because you think their prices are too high, but the proof that you're going to give is the starting price of auction. How does that even go? Could you play an advert for me, Chris, if you're about? I'll be back in a sec. I've got to have a quick wee. I'm busted. All right, come on. Right, so we're back. Apologies for that. So that's just one Ian, he says. Right, so he gives me that link. Now that's like going, well, hang on a minute. You've got to just pause for a second here, right? This is not just anybody. This is a respected person. This is, if you look for it, you've got Change Checker, and if you look for one, there's also Check Your Change. And the guy who does Check Your Change, he writes a book. And I've read a couple of them the last couple of years' books, and they're very interesting. And they tell you some serious things to look out for. Like, for example, if you look on the most common 10 pence, 1992 10 pence, but there are 10p's that are worth hundreds of pounds, literally because whether the teeth are pointing to the teeth are pointing to the this and the that, and it gets really what's name. But when you look at it, you can understand it and you can read it. And I was going to try once on the video for you lot, and you can read it. When I was doing that 5 hours a day, I tried to do the 10p one. You can read it, and you can understand it, and you know what to look for. So this is a book written by this. I don't know who the chap is that writes the book, but it's called Check Your Change. Whereas Ian Glenn's mob called Change Checker, right? Now, why this is important is because this is information. Serious information that this author of Check Your Change gives out to the coin community, right? Okay. One of the people that this author listens to is this guy, Lee Holt. He will give Lee Holt a credit for information that he gives. So some of these guys, this guy who writes this book, some of the values that he gives are based on what Lee Holt tells him. And Lee Holt is wrong. So now you've got this interfering, nasty, horrible person deciding who is a rip-off and who is a crook, and feeding information through to the author of a book who goes out and writes all this stuff in the book, giving you all this information which you and me and everybody buys into. And some of this information is coming from a man that doesn't know his arse from his elbow, essentially. Can you imagine with a straight face being able to walk into Vauxhall and going, yeah, you're selling that car for 20 grand. It's a starting price in an auction is 500 quid. You're a rip-off, you are. Or going into PC World and going, you're selling that laptop 1,500 quid. Well, it's a starting price of 400 quid in an auction. You're a rip-off, you are. Can you imagine? Could you even do it with a straight face? Someone should be, if you did that, someone should be locking you up in a mental asylum. You cannot base any item, no matter what it is, you cannot base its retail price on its starting price in an auction. That is just beyond ridiculous. That's beyond mental. Anybody that can go through life taking a starting price in an auction as the retail price is not a full shilling. They are a sandwich short of a picnic somewhere along the line. I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just saying it don't make sense. He says your prices are the proof. Oh, we've done that bit. I told him he's talking bollocks. Right, so anyway. Now, this is not me being picky and choosy now over what I do, right? But we've got 2 years worth of conversation here. And I've just gone right back to the beginning in order to prove where all of this has started and come from. It just goes on and on and on. And you do not want me to sit here and just read all this out. This is like a couple of years worth of messages. Coming to the latest ones. Right, as you know, I've got my dog that died before Casper's, Hector, and I got a Hector account on Facebook, Hector Wolf. And I would use my Hector Wolf account to share and stuff, right? Getting blocked and removed. He just sends me that picture going, getting blocked and removed. This was on the 1st of October this year, right? So it's only a month ago. This is the latest messages. You know, he says, I'm blocking you again because you're like a broken record. And I said, okay, game on. So, I sent him a message. I sent him a message on the 2nd of November. So it is only 3 weeks ago. Pardon me. I'm just going to say, the longer this goes on, the worse you and your team are making yourselves look. I'm offering you a phone call to deal with it in an adult fashion. The police are now involved on a charge of blackmail. If taken seriously, I don't need to tell you the kind of repercussions that kind of investigation brings. To keep attacking me behind the scenes is childish and classed as harassment. I guess you've got 2 choices. Continue the harassment or pick up the phone. This is also another form of stalking, Lee. It's so wrong what you lot are doing. The world is turning to shit. Thousands of people are dying daily. All you lot want to focus on is harassing me and causing me damage. Don't you think priorities are a bit fucked up? And I sent him I sent him a copy of the email that Dave Hill wrote to our hosting provider, which happened to be my son. And in it, he says, well, your actions lead because Harry showed me what this man had written. So because that's the actions, right? So Harry's actions of showing me this. So your actions lead to your childish father to go and do what he did, and he continues to do it. So for as long as he does, I will do it with the true review of what you did. He left a bad review. Dave Hill and Lee Holt left a bad review on my son's review thing on Trustpilot or whatever it was for his hosting site over him showing me what they'd written to him. This is not a threat. What you did was wrong and breached data protection. Actually, no, he didn't. And just like your father, I won't let you get away with what you're doing, with you doing what you like. The conversation was to you, not him. And if this is how you treat confidential communications, then you need to learn that's not on what you did. Telling Lee to get me to remove the review won't work either. He has no authority over me. So now, of course, you've got this little argument going on in the Lee camp now, because you've got Dave Hill causing loads of trouble and Lee now supposedly trying to tell Dave not to cause the trouble. Well, who knows what to believe nowadays. So I said, I've tried to sort this with you for far too long now, Lee. You obviously won't stop, so I'm calling in the solicitor now. Police complaints and action will follow. Now I have the actual physical proof of the kinds of dirty tricks you've been doing to put me out of business for the last 2 years, I might add, all under the name of Change Range and Lee Holt. Your man Dave says he can't be controlled. Have you and Dave thought about the fact that I can now sue you? And that's not to sue Dave, but to sue Lee Holt and Change Range, which I can. Once instructed, I will hold you to account for any legal costs I incur in taking actions against you. This, plus the stalking, plus customers telling me they had messages from you warning them off. I'm no legal expert, but I think I might have a case. Even now, when you've been caught with your pants down, you won't leave it alone. And all this because you didn't like my prices. All this because you didn't like my prices. Then I put, surely Lee, communicating by YouTube, this is on the 5th of November, surely Lee, communicating, yes please Chris, pay it. Surely Lee, communicating by YouTube and Facebook comments is childish. Am I talking to you or Dave, for fuck's sake? I don't even know who I'm talking to. Sixth of November, your followers are starting to get abusive now because I did that video. They are not believing what has been done under the Change Range name, it seems. The longer this goes on, the more they're going to embarrass you and themselves. Abuse is abuse. I'm being polite, but they're not being pleasant. You have the power to stop this anytime. Which he does. He has the power to stop it anytime. 10th of November. Hello, Lee. As I've previously warned, your bullying supporters are coming out to play, all in your name, defending you and defending, all in your name, defending you, and you're nowhere to be seen. They are going to embarrass themselves and you and Dave Hill. All you have to do is come clean. But I guess you're too embarrassed to stand up and tell the truth. They don't believe Dave did what he did. The question really is, are you going to let them make fools of themselves further, or will you own up? As always, I'm just a phone call away. For 3 years, 3 years I've tried, let's talk by phone. Won't talk to me. Absolutely refuses. Tried phoning him, won't have it. That was the last communication I sent to him on the 10th of November. I then did a video where I completely and utterly broke down. And some people thought that that was me apologising to Lee Holt and Warren. No, I wasn't. I feel aggrieved over what Warren did. I will never back down over that. I have proved over and over and over and over again, more times than I can count, that Warren is a total liar. It was total bollocks. He misunderstood, and it was all over a mistake and a misunderstanding, and he would not come clean. And because of that, all he did was attack, attack, attack. He attacked my credibility. He attacked my customers. He attacked the team. He attacked my wife. He attacked disabled women, children, vulnerable people, etc., etc., etc. Because he could not just hold his hands up and go, fucking hell, I got it wrong, I'm sorry. It takes like seconds. I am sorry, I got it wrong. That's it. He couldn't do that. Neither can Lee. Neither can Dave. So what Lee and Dave are now doing is they're taking this 2 years and 3 years of shit over prices because they believe that a retail price is the starting price of an auction. That really is like somebody believing that the character on Coronation Street that just committed murder really has committed murder. And then walking up to that actor in real life and hitting them over the head because you just murdered somebody. No. Just doesn't go. Doesn't mix. So, where does that leave us? I'm done with that. Where does that leave us? Well, first and foremost, this video has been about nothing else but proving 100% that what I've been saying for the last 2 to 3 years is actually the case. And this has been nothing but victimization and harassment over what was supposed to be a dislike of my prices. But actually, what it turns out is over Dave Hill trying to rob me of 27 coins, getting found out, getting caught because he thought I wouldn't count them all, and then him then crying and moaning to Lee, and the two of them going on some kind of a vendetta on me on Facebook. And the one thing that they slag me off for is my prices. And it's been going on for this long. So I've got to do this because I've got to prove it. I've got to show people once again. I've got to put the animals back in the cage. I've got to do what I did with Warren. I've got to show that it is absolute bollocks. And it's been bollocks for 3 years. So much bollocks that all of these lies and bollocks have done nothing but make me ill. It's no wonder I have heart attacks. It's no wonder I poo through my stomach. It's no wonder I have all these issues. How can somebody not have medical issues when they are stressed out, to bollocks, day after day after day after day after day, and they know they're being attacked, but they just don't know. They just don't know who. They just don't know where. The stones keep coming flying over them on the ear, but they can't see where they're coming from, and they don't know why the people are doing it. Now I know. And it is so much stress off. Now I know. Now I can go to the solicitor with something tangible. Now I can say to the solicitor, this is harassment. This is where it started. This is what it's all over. And hopefully some action will be taken. I know that I've got the issues with the Royal Mint, and I know I've got the issues with Ian Glenn, but I'm going to have to put them aside because I'm going to have to go down this road first. I'm going to have to spank them, and I'm going to have to spank them legally because it is the only way I'm going to get any recourse. I've got to spank them through the solicitor, not me. Hello? Hello? I'm just coming off in a minute. Do you want me to give you a ring back? I'm just doing a live video coming to the end of it where I've been talking about Lee Holt and where all this actually came from with Dave Hill and all of that. We're supposed to be over there half hour ago. I forgot. I got tied up with this. I'll tell Fran now. All right, mate. Sorry. All right. We're supposed to be over John's. Supposed to be over John's, having a cup of coffee with him before I do the show. Okay, so to finish off, it feels like I've had a weight lifted, even though it's not stopped, and even though it's continuing every day of the week. You know, we put a video up on a Monday, it gets taken down. We put a video up on a Wednesday, it gets every video we put up gets taken down, and we have to put an appeal in and get them back. Last Fridays I can't get back because I haven't had a video for the appeal. That means I now have to get the solicitor to write to Google. We now have to get the solicitor to write to Facebook, because now we know why all of our domain names are, you know, classed as spam and one thing and another on Facebook. It's all coming from these people. It's just been non-stop bullying and harassment for a long time. And if I'm really lucky, and they're unlucky, it will lead to a prison sentence. It will certainly lead to a criminal conviction. That's what I'm hoping for. So I've got to go after them first and then concentrate on the others afterwards. But it was important that I do this video in order to show people, like I did before with Warren, that everything that was being said and everything that's being done and everything that's being stirred up is being done. It's being done out of spite, is what it's being done out of. It's just spite. And all of this 3 years of shit on Facebook is over 27 coins. That's what it's over, 27 coins. And the excuse that I'm a rip-off because I charge more money than the opening bid in an auction. And that is why I'm a rip-off. And that is why I'm a crook. It's mental to get to that kind of understanding. To actually really understand that, it's mental. It's mental. But I understand it now, and it is, you know, there's nothing worse. Why do people think I'm a crook? Why have I done? Just because something went wrong? No, it can't be that. Well, now I understand. Because I dare to charge more money than the opening bid in an auction on eBay. So I am a crook. Now I understand it. So that's it. So I needed to do this. Sorry to take up your time, but it was important that I get everybody know and let everybody know where we were with it. If you ever get the time to watch this, if it happens to not get deleted, I don't know. But that's where we are. We'll see you at 3 o'clock. We have got loads and loads of giveaways to do at 3 o'clock. Every single prize on a Wednesday, which is today, every single prize comes with £39 worth of free guesses. So you win whatever prize you win, plus a £39 bonus of free guesses to win yourself a Bunce 2009 QSET. The one thing I will say in closing is that there is a certain amount I don't care now. I cared. I care that my business was trashed. I care about that. I care that I lost my entire coin business out of nothing more than spite. That hurts. But now I've reinvented. Now I'm no longer selling coins. Now I just made my own little tiny private exclusive club. And I don't care who joins and who don't. I don't care that 100,000 people or 10,000 people don't come along and join our club. I don't care. Those prizes are going out. The prizes today are going out. And the prizes tomorrow, Friday, will go out. And next week, and the week after, and the week after. Those prizes are going to go out. There is 100 prizes a week going out of the door, each and every week. And those prizes will go out every single week from now, past Christmas, all next year, past that, past the year after. They will just continually keep going out. And it'll be the same, 100 parcels a week, 100 prizes a week going out, going out, going out. And if people want to come along and join our exclusive club, well, sometimes the door's open, they can come in. Otherwise, I couldn't care less. We've got a club, we've got our own exclusive club. I've got enough members. I'm quite happy to just do it with them and not have, in that sense. See what I mean? So from that point of view, you know, they lose, I win. I've won. I lost my business. But for the long term, I win, because you can't stop what me and Chris have got set up. And thanks to Chris, what I've got set up now, you can't touch it. They can't touch it. You know, what they're going to argue about. I charge too much for an entry for a raffle when the entry is free. So there we go. Thanks very much to everybody for tuning in. Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for believing all the way through that I am not a nutcase. Thank you so much. I cannot tell you how good it feels to know in my own head I ain't a nutcase. I was right all along. I pegged it right. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Chris, for doing the stream. See you at 3 o'clock. Bye for now.